How's it going, everybody? I just wanted to give a quick video on the last month that my wife and I have been doing HelloFresh. For those who don't know, HelloFresh is a meal kit delivery service. They offer a wide variety of different meals and products that you can have delivered to your door to help you cook delicious meals without having to go out to a restaurant every night. Um, in my household, it is my wife and I, and our 6-year-old daughter, and our 2-year-old daughter. So when we ordered, we set up our meals for 4 meals a week, 2 servings of each meal, and there is enough of the serving for the little ones to have a trial of the food. It's gonna most of it's food that is not meant for toddlers, but we usually give them their preferred food and then have them try a little bit of what we're having. Um, Basically, with HelloFresh, you log into their website, you make an account. I would suggest looking online for discount codes. They have them all the time before you initially sign up. I also have a discount code if you're interested. I am not a sponsored video, but I do have my own discount code if you're interested. I'll put it down in the link below, and you guys can feel free to use that. I think it gives you $70 off of first 4 boxes, which is about half off. And it does give me a $10 credit towards one of my next boxes, which I would greatly appreciate, but definitely no pressure to use. I will leave it there if you so choose to do so. As far as the pricing goes, we average out to about $10 a meal per person. That may seem high to some people, and I will definitely agree that you can get a full meal cheaper somewhere else, whether that be the dollar menu or just buying cheaper items at the store. Um, the counter argument I have to it is that a lot of these meals are cooking with ingredients that you would not otherwise have in your kitchen in great quantities. Some of these menus call for almond slivers, currants, ginger root, very specific spices that are not something that you're going to have a big jar of laying around. So I think that's part of the cost associated with it, is that you're getting everything pre-measured out in the quantity that you need to make the meal, as opposed to having to go to the store and buy in a bigger container and keep it around. And it might be something you don't normally regularly use. A really good example of this, my wife and I did a tortellini bake from HelloFresh the other day, and it came with a big jar of ricotta cheese. Ricotta cheese is something we both enjoy, but it's not something that we constantly have on hand. So there was more than enough for the recipe and some left over, which they do on occasion give you more than you need, just because that's the smallest they can order it or get it from their suppliers. So that's kind of my opinion on you get what you pay for. That being said, along the same vein, all of the meals that we've had, we've probably done 25 to 30 meals, are restaurant quality. This is not garbage food. It's not cheap, gross, just throwaway meals. It's all meals that are very, very good. Something that if I ordered at a restaurant, I would not be disappointed in at all. Of all the meals we've had, we've liked all of them. Even the one we liked the least was probably because I overcooked some pork chop. It happens. Um, but definitely the quality is there for what you're getting. When you sign up, you can, like I said, you can select how many meals you want, how many servings of each meal you want, how often you want to get a box, what day you want it delivered on, all that sort of stuff. And so we went with 4 meals, 2 servings of each meal once a week. We get our deliveries typically on Sundays. We unpack everything and we use those meals Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday and skip a day. The delivery, it's either UPS or FedEx, depending on the day of the week and where you live. It gets left on your doorstep, and it is in a recycled box. Most of their packing materials are pre-recycled or recyclable themselves, which we are not crunchy granola people, but we do enjoy that they are eco-conscious companies that are packaging their product in a way that's responsible to the environment. So if you're into that sort of thing, it's a really, really good thing that they do. And then inside the box, you will get there'll be a kind of a aluminum bubble wrap sack um, that is sealed that has all the food inside of it. And then inside that bag, at the bottom of the working from the bottom, so at the bottom of the bag, um, there is the proteins, and then above that there's an ice block to keep those cold. And then above that are each of the bags. So we get 4 bags of the food that has everything for that specific recipe inside of it. And then on top of the box, or top of the bag, you'll get these kind of glossy laminated menu cards. And so basically the menu cards, they're very, very easy to read. It'll tell you everything that's involved that they give you. It shows you the prep time, the cook time, the caloric intake, and a general picture of what your end product may or should look like. And then on the back, it has some just general tips and stuff. If there's like a cooking method that they're going to be telling you, there's one the other day we made a meatloaf, and there was a tip to make sure that your hands are wet before you start mixing the meat so that it doesn't stick to your hands, which boggled my mind, but it worked. And then each step there's a picture, and it shows you kind of, here's what you do in this step, here's what you do in this step, here's what you do in this step, and then the times and the cook temperatures and everything like that. What is not in the box? Cooking utensils, pots and pans, and then general food staples that they expect you to have on hand, things like butter, sugar, salt and pepper, olive oil. Those sort of things are not included in the kit themselves, but they are things that everyone should have. The only 2 kitchenware items that I did not personally have, that I have gone out since and purchased, that I would recommend you get, is one, a potato masher. There are quite a few meals that have mashed potatoes of different tastes and flavors and things like that, so they're not boring same mashed potatoes all the time. But my wife, up until 3 weeks ago, did not like mashed potatoes, so she does now, but we didn't have potato masher in the house. So I had to go buy one of those. It's a couple dollars. And then there's a lot of the meals that call for a zest of some sort, mostly limes and lemons. So I would recommend you get yourself zester if you can. You can use a grater if you have one laying around, but our grater is kind of big and bulky, and so it's kind of annoying to have to use it for zesting a lemon and then wash the whole thing. So I would suggest you get one if you don't. But other than that, everything's pretty standard: tongs, spatulas, spoons, baking sheets, that sort of thing. So that kind of covers what you get in the box. Like I said, I'm not going to do an actual cooking demonstration. I think there's a lot of videos out there from non-sponsored and sponsored videos that do cooking demos, and you can kind of see how the process goes, but I didn't really feel like I wanted to do that, and I just kind of wanted to give more of my opinion. But as far as the cooking experience goes, my wife and I are both fairly confident in the kitchen, but I think that this service has made us definitely more confident in the kitchen. We've learned to make a lot of different sauces now, which is something that we had never done before outside of like take the lid off, dump it in a pot, and cook. So definitely some new skills for me and my wife as far as making different sauces and things like that for the meals, which we thought was really cool. And then it's definitely something that cooking was not something we did together very often. Typically, one or the other of us would cook, and the other one would be doing stuff with the kids or things like that. But we both wanted to learn when we got this product, and so we definitely have both been in the kitchen together cooking, which has been really fun and good for both of us. And the kids, we get the kids doing an activity or something before we start cooking. All of the meals require some level of prep and cook time. I would say that conservatively, every meal that we've made, you can cook in under an hour from when you start. Most of the meals require maybe 10, 15 minutes of prep time, and then on average, probably 30 minutes of cook time. So definitely, if you're the type that likes to preheat the oven and throw frozen food into the oven and wait 20 minutes and then eat, this is a different ball game for you. But they make the instructions clear enough to where you can prep most of the meals in 10 to 15 minutes. The one knock that I do see a lot of people bringing up with HelloFresh specifically, and other meal kits, is the portion sizes. We had the same feeling. The very first meal we got was this one right here, which is still our favorite meal. We reordered it again. They do repeat every couple of, maybe like every 5-6 weeks. You'll see some similar items pop up. But so we made this, and then the first thing we thought was, wow, that's a lot of potato, but not a lot of carrot. And we ate it. It was delicious. We were full. And what we slowly started to realize is that if you look at the caloric intake on this meal is 640 calories. So 640 calories for chicken, potato, and carrots. So a couple starches and a protein. So what we slowly started to realize is we probably were eating 2-3 servings of food every meal, as opposed to what a normal serving of food would be. And I think that is probably true of a lot of people. My wife and I during the pandemic have both lost quite a bit of weight, and we are definitely health conscious with what we eat. And I think that once you kind of get over the mindset of, oh my God, I can't believe this is not a lot of food, it's filling. We've never finished a meal and been like, oh my God, I'm starving. But they are what they are. They're a serving size of food. So I think it definitely helps you change your mindset as to what a serving of food is and what a serving of food is not. We have had leftovers 2 times. One was a Irish pub shepherd's pie, which was really, really good. And that we ended up having a serving each for leftovers for lunch the next day. I hate leftovers. I don't like putting leftover food in the fridge because it just piles up, and then like a week later you find something in the back of the fridge and you're like, ugh, I don't know what this was at one point. But I was actually really looking forward to having the leftovers the next day for lunch because the food was so good. And I think that by keeping the portion sizes small, I don't have a ton of extra food in my cabinets and in my fridge, and it helps me kind of stay on track with eating healthy, as opposed to having like access to, I have a whole bag of French fries. I'm gonna cook the whole bag of fries, and we'll split that, and eat it. And I'm probably eating 4 or 5 servings of French fries. So that is, in some cases for people, an issue with the portion sizes being smaller. But if you really think about what you're putting in your body, for me, I'm not a fitness guru or a health guru or anything like that. It's just something that I personally understood as, okay, you're eating too much food. And I think that a lot of people can relate to that at some point. This service helps you kind of keep under control what you're eating and what you're making. Like I said, we've definitely learned quite a few new skills. We've definitely had meals that we would not normally make at home. So just kind of flipping through, we had a Mediterranean steak one night, which was really, really good. I'm sorry that's glossy, I know. But it was really, really good. But it's not something that, I would have gone, hey, let's go to the grocery store and get almonds and Greek yogurt and make a lime sauce and have this meal. It's not something we would do. But we've been able to try a variety of different foods. And I personally, last night we had something in it with farro, which I didn't know what it was. It's a grain, I know now, but it was really good. I've never had it before. We had Couscous a while back, which I had no idea what that was. I thought it was a Disney character. But it was also really good, and something that we ordered another meal that has couscous in it because we liked it so much. So it's definitely allows you to be a little more adventurous with what you're eating without having to, again, invest in a stockpile of things that you're not going to use on a daily basis. I definitely think that for us is a huge factor in why we're going to continue doing it. Just because we like to be able to like look at the menu and go, oh man, that's new, or we haven't tried that before, or this looks really interesting. Let's try that. So definitely one of, if not the biggest, one of the biggest reasons why we're going to continue with HelloFresh. And in general, my overall thoughts are: is it worth it for the money? For us, yes. For some people, maybe you're on a tighter budget or you don't want to spend $10 a person per dinner. Um, that's okay. I mean, not everybody's in the same. I know in the world we're in right now, not everybody's in the same financial position. I'm certainly not a mega millionaire or anything, but it was something that we just had to move our thought process from here's how much money we spend at the grocery store to this is now a part of our grocery spending, and then we have to order less food from the grocery store, which is also during the pandemic really good for us. When the pandemic first started, we were doing grocery delivery, and sometimes we were really disappointed with, like, we'd say, okay, we need chicken breasts, and we get chicken breasts that were their sell by date was like the next day, and we were trying to order stuff to where we didn't have to order all the time, and so we were ended up with like gross chicken breasts, or like vegetables especially, like the people that were picking out our food, we didn't know what they were looking at because it was like, okay, this is moldy, or this is rotten, or this is like beat to hell. What are you giving us? That's not the case with HelloFresh. Most of the produce that they've had, I've had to throw away one teeny tiny potato that I think probably just got thrown in the bag by accident. That was kind of past its life, but other than that, everything's been really, really fresh and delicious. So I think that the quality of the food is fantastic. The price is competitive enough to where when you realize what you're getting for your dollar is worth it to us, and I think worth it to a lot of other people. The experience is really good. The customer service is fantastic, and the skill set that we've added to our repertoire also has been worth the money because we're kind of feeling like we're paying for not only the food but slight cooking lessons as well. So overall, I highly recommend it to anybody who's interested. Again, I have a discount code. I'm not sponsored. I'll put it in the description below if you're interested. And if there's any other kind of tips or trips or videos you want to see about HelloFresh, just put a comment in. I'll try to answer it as best I can. Other than that, have a great day.